so much for joining us today as we announce the 10th annual Martin Luther King Day of Service here in the city of Lancaster. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Antelope Valley Young Marines for presenting the colors for us this morning. Martin Luther King Day is a very special day here in the Antelope Valley, especially this year. We witnessed this past fall a coming together of this community that the likes of which many communities never experience. And we're going to do it again on MLK Day. And it's going to be very special. I don't think that that there's a better day and a better message that we could provide to our community than to come together again in service in Martin Luther King's name and to support Sergeant Owen Park. Specifically, I'd like to introduce Raj Mali, our council member today, to come up and say a few words about our MLK Day of Services in the past and what we can expect this year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to everybody. You know, what a best way to start our new year. Martin Luther King Service Day is very important to everybody because you know what, it leaves the best message behind for our community. And you know what, personally, I like about our community that last year itself, 1,000 volunteers got together and made a difference. 32 or 33 different projects. And that's the huge, you know, coming together and making that difference and making our community cleaner, healthier, and beautiful. That's what is our community all about. And I personally like to thank everybody who's here today and like to invite and urge to my entire Antelope Valley community to get together and be there that day. And we have to make a difference because that is very important to our community, to everybody here. Thank you very much.
Before I get into the words that I want to thank our city and so forth about, but something ran through my heart, and while I was in the military, I was all overseas. I was in Korea, Japan, and all these different places. And when I would see the American flag, it just did something for me. I recognize that there are various takes on whether you should stand or honor the flag, but some kind of way or another, when I think about Dr. Martin Luther King, he always honored his country. And he did that by his services. So I want to thank the city of Lancaster, Molly, and all of you, and my city manager and my mayor, Rex Parrish. I thank all of you for continuing to represent the legacy of America by honoring Dr. Martin Luther King, because he truly believed in a life of services. And my own personal feelings are that anyone who comes to a country, a community, and just sits there and eat off of the community and take what it has, as far as I'm concerned, is not a part of my community, because I would not associate or walk shoulder to shoulder with that kind of a person. Dr. Martin Luther King truly stood for what America was founded for. And it was founded, and it could not be called a United States without including all of its cultures. And it has nothing to do with necessarily what color or where you came from. Once you become an American, you're responsible to help us to keep it united. And it cannot, as Dr. Martin Luther King made the statement, be a United States if we are not loving and caring for each other. And he made a statement, in fact, I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't always, well, some of you all know that I just speak what my heart says, and that's kind of how that goes. And I can't ask you to like it. You can if you want to, and you don't have to if you don't want to. I don't always sleep in pajamas. I have some t-shirts that I like to sleep in. And one of them stays close to the front, and the city of Lancaster gave it out, and it was on a day of service. And it says something like that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. And that's what this day on the 14th is really all about. That we come together to serve in our community, not only just to paint houses or to fix buildings, but it's really all about just getting next to somebody I didn't know. Who are you? You got a paintbrush in your hand, so I got a paintbrush in my hand, and we dipping out of the same bucket of paint here. Who are you? What you doing? And we walk away knowing each other and respecting what they're doing, they're respecting what I'm doing. Dr. Martin Luther King made this statement that, and I believe that might have had something to do with when his house was bombed. He told everybody to go home. I need you guys to go home and don't get yourself upset because we're fine. Just pray that the Lord will take advantage of all of this and turn it into something good. And then later on, he makes a statement that, yeah, we're going through some periods of darkness, but darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And then he said, we're going through some periods of hate, bigotry, and all of that. And he said, but hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So this day of service on this coming 14th is a day that we always, and I always look forward to it. And I want you to know that there's a bunch of people, white, black, brown, and otherwise, who will be out there doing things. Some of them may not even know what this is all about, but they know they're serving. They know they're making a difference in what's going on in our community. So ladies and gentlemen, I just hope that each of you will let somebody know that somebody will be doing something to make a difference in our community. On the 15th, which will be that Sunday at 4 o'clock in the Lancaster Performing Arts Center, we will be doing a program, and if I'm probably going to misquote it, but the quote, I think our title that we're using on that day is Our Journey for Justice. And we're going to have kids from the Antelope Valley High School, from the Quartz Hill High School, from Palmdale, probably Palmdale High School. We'll have the color guards, all these young people to be there and on the stage for the purpose of making sure that people know the meaning of what Dr. Martin Luther King really stood for. So I urge you to let everybody know, and we will be doing that. That's at 4 o'clock on Sunday evening. Leo Stallworth of Channel 7 will be there, and he'll be our guy who's going to guide a young man who will be helping him to do the emceeing. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to a day of services. We're looking forward to that day, that evening, Sunday evening, to tell the story of our journey from Africa to America, the ships, the Underground Railroad. We just want everybody to know that, yeah, we've been there. And I myself was born and raised on a plantation in Bahia, Mississippi. And I know what it means to go in and out of the back doors. But I'm not in the back door anymore. I'm in a back door if I want to be. But my main thing is the rest of my life, as I crawl up to it 84 years old, my life is going to be dedicated to the rest of my life, as much of it in the past, and that is to see what I can do to make a difference in service, to make a difference in relationships, to bring about a difference in our community so our community can be the best it can be.
Having grown up in Lancaster in the Antelope Valley, I have to tell you, I grew up with the spirit of service in my heart. It's part of our community. But this year marks the 10th anniversary of our official commitment and alignment with the United We Serve initiative, the national initiative and movement for us to come together in service to donate our time and talents to building stronger and healthier communities. This year is the 10th anniversary. It's cause for celebration, hence all the balloons. And this year we took some extra time in thinking about big projects, thinking out of the box a little bit, places where we haven't paid much attention in a while, or really just we want to make the greatest impact in one day. And so we have dozens of opportunities for people literally all over Lancaster if you saw it on a map. But I'm going to take some time here and just highlight a few. Last year we took on the illegal dumping issue, and we had a dozen sites and accomplished a great deal. In 1 day of service, we eliminated so much waste and cleaned up our community. Thousands of volunteers just on those 12 projects. But unfortunately, that's a persisting problem. And we have a few more sites that Development Services team has identified that need our help. So in 1 day's time, volunteers will have the opportunity to help eliminate waste and improve areas that are in need. And these are areas in our backyard, right behind your house, right behind the park. So realize they're there and they're affecting our public health, our safety, and our environment. So volunteers on those projects can have a huge impact. Students from RX Paris High School are actually going to be joining us on one of the projects, the Paiute site, and they are doing something special. They're going to be collecting materials from their site specifically to build a sculpture. They'll be building from February to April of this year, and it'll be for the purpose of the Made in the Mojave exhibition that'll be opening on May 13th on the MOA Rooftop Terrace. It's going to be a special project. New this year is a project sponsored by the Boulevard Association, which demonstrates the organization's commitment to ensuring our experience here in our beloved jewel of the city, the Boulevard, it's well cared for, you feel safe. And so volunteers will work together on landscaping tasks like pruning bushes and shrubs and raking leaves, all for the purpose of improving our experience when we come to enjoy the Boulevard and patronize the businesses. The last project that I would like to highlight is one that I believe will be near and dear to the hearts of many in our community. Just as Martin Luther King Jr. was a unifying leader for our nation, Sergeant Owen was a leader who unified our community, just as Rhonda so poignantly said earlier. Therefore, the city has set a set of projects, specifically at Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park. Volunteers will be painting, planting, and updating all areas of the park. No stone unturned, but it will be an ongoing effort. We're launching, actually, the hope is that we have volunteers that will be committed to ongoing projects throughout the year, and even possibly year to year, so that we can reaffirm our collective commitment to that particular park as a place where we want to celebrate life for our community. To close out the day of service, the entire community is invited to the opening of a very special exhibit at MOA Cedar, just down the curb a little bit. It's intended to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. And if you would please acknowledge with me Wyatt Kenneth Coleman, freelance photojournalist here to join us. For more than 30 years, Wyatt Kenneth Coleman recorded the history of major figures such as Coretta Scott King, Jesse Jackson, Rosa Parks. However, the greatest thing about his body of work is it focuses actually on everyday people and how we've all been affected by the wisdom and the legacy of Dr. King. A collection of Mr. Coleman's photographs is going to be opening at MOA Cedar on Saturday, January 14th. There's going to be an opening reception from 6 to 8 p.m. And then it'll be on display until Saturday, March 4th. During regular MOA Cedar hours, Thursday through Sunday, 2 to 8 p.m. This is an incredible opportunity for us to not just serve, but also celebrate how Dr. King's legacy has touched our community and continues to influence the way that we make decisions in our everyday lives, all the way to our greatest leadership.
Dr. Martin Luther King once said, Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? A great way to answer that question is through Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. The city is in need of over 1,000 volunteers to complete the local projects we have slated for this year. We have had numerous volunteers sign up already, but we have room for many more. We are inviting residents of all ages, as well as community groups, local nonprofits, and service organizations to get involved. As this event has grown, the need for a sturdy platform for us to collect volunteers is needed. With that, we have created OneLink. OneLink is an opportunity to link volunteers to projects that serve their interests. While the city's official day for Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service will be on Saturday, January 14th, the service opportunities have been expanded to include events and projects on other dates, hosted with partnered nonprofits and service groups. Volunteer assignments are on a first-come and best-match basis. If you are interested to apply to be a volunteer for the City of Lancaster, please do so through OneLink at www.onelink.org. For more information about this event, please visit www.cityoflancasterca.org/MLK Day of Service. Remember, make Martin Luther King Jr. a day on, not a day off. We look forward to seeing you and your neighbors on Saturday, January 14th. Thank you.
Allow me to close with this. I said something very similar last year. In one day last year, 1,000 people volunteered their time and effort, which would take individuals as much as a year to accomplish the same goal. And we did it in one day of service last year in honor of Martin Luther King. Let's do it this year to honor his legacy, as well as Sergeant Owens. We will see you on January 14th. Thank you.